All right, back in business. Nice.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you for the service. First agenda item has to do with comprehensive plan amendments. And it is to schedule basically a resolution of adoption and scheduling the public hearings. There are three public hearings, or two public hearings for the comprehensive plan. They are to be scheduled for April 17th and May 1st. Right, so do I have a motion for that resolution?
I would like to do a whole master plan instead of just piecemeal on property.
So you're not going to make a
No.
motion. Would somebody like to make a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carried. The second one, next up is an amendment for the zoning designation. This is associated with the comprehensive plan review, and this is scheduling a, do we have to adopt the consistency statement at this point, or we do that later? Okay, so we are scheduling a public hearing for May 15th. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next up is a request to sign, for a, an engagement agreement with Drake Loeb PLLC. This is for, is to provide, legal services. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Table it and
passed it, but thanks. Next up is a request from the town clerk is requesting approval for the deputy town clerk Sharon to attend the annual town clerks convention or conference, April 20. Total estimated expense of $790. So motion.
I'll make a motion for that.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No.
Next up is a request from receiver of taxes for her and her deputy Margaret to go to the annual training for tax receivers. The cost is $1,344. Is that for 2 people?
2 people.
That's total for the
Yep.
2? Okay.
You're on, you're covered, you guys are
Yeah.
covered, or just gonna close? You're covered, okay?
What do you mean?
The office covered.
No, the office will be closed. We'll be out of tax collection,
Right,
and
so you don't
the
need to
town
do-
clerk and the deputy
Somebody's
clerk,
there in case, right?
they can accept
It's in
water
between
and sewer
collection periods.
payments.
So
Okay.
it should be-
But tax is done at that
Right,
point,
so
that's
you're,
when we can go.
somebody's there if they gotta do
Yeah.
it. Okay.
That's probably why they hold it when they do.
Exactly.
Do you have a motion?
Well,
Second. Neil, second? Got that? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Carried. Next is a request from the Owing Foundation, holding a 5K on April 27th, and they're asking the town's assistance in closing Dr. Fink Road for an hour on event day. Do you know whether they're requesting anything?
And this is an annual thing, right? They've been doing
I think
this?
so. Okay. Do you have a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, you motion?
And
Want a
Mark,
second?
I'll second that, Mark said to contact the fire company.
Okay. All in favor?
Make sure, we'll make sure we do.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. That concludes the agenda. Anyone wants to discuss?
Yeah, I've been talking to someone about federal grants, state grants for town center and helping us with our roads. I got all the information, I'll send it to all the board members
Okay.
tomorrow. I
Okay,
just
good.
got it today.
The federal grants are for, is it all for roads? Because you said
It's
town
for
center
road
roads.
and town centers. So.
But is it for something other than roads in town center?
Yes, it's for the roads going out of town center, if you have a large town center you're doing.
Okay.
It's to help with the state, what it does, it's federal money, it goes to state, and the state will give the town money to do their road, so.
Okay.
It starts 3
All right,
different.
so you're gonna
things.
send that to us?
Yes, I
Okay,
will.
good, thanks. Anything else? Anything from the town attorney? Do I have a motion open for public comment? Second? All in favor? Aye, opposed? Any comments, questions? Sir?
If you could just give me, please, the date and time for the road closures, if you don't mind?
Mark, can I make you a copy of this?
That'll be perfect, thank
Okay,
you.
and I'll get it to you. I'll
Great.
do it when, so when the meeting's over.
Great, thank you.
Other questions?
Appreciate it.
Yeah?
Good evening, Susan Katie, South Cross Road.
Take your mask off, babe.
So I sent everyone an email this afternoon. Let me read it to you as well. I'm writing to voice my, hold on. Stop with this on. I'm writing to voice my opposition to the spot rezoning of the corner of Routes 82 and 55. I've been a resident of Lagrange for 36 years, and I've seen the rural character of our community slowly disappear. It was that rustic charm that drew me to Lagrangeville in the first place, and now it's once again in jeopardy. As the population has grown, so has the traffic congestion and water pollution. What this town does not need is one more gas station or convenience store. Especially because the site proposed is so close to an aquifer that supplies that are in-ground, well, actually might be tainting in-ground wells that are now have tasty and potable water. Why put that in the crosshairs of a gas leak or oil spill? We've been at this crossroads before. The only thing that has changed is the makeup of the town board. All the other issues raised against this proposal are still true. I urge you to vote against the spot rezoning and instead encourage you to maintain what's left of our rural nature. Thank you.
Others?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good evening, Torrey Close, South Cross Road. I'm here tonight to register my vehement opposition to the rezoning of the corner of 82 and 55. I'm a lifelong resident of Dutchess County, and I've lived in Lagrange for more than 35 years. I've seen the town grow from a charming, small, rural community into something I hardly recognize. We've been here before, and nothing has changed except the members of the town board. We're still facing more cars, more trucks, more traffic, more air pollution, more water contamination, more fauna and flora in jeopardy. Why not put a vest pocket park there? Why not invite local farmers to set up a farmer's market there? Why not ask the VFW to turn that site into a memorial for veterans? The last thing LaGrange needs is one more gas station / convenience store. Why not show some restraint? Why not take to heart the town's own open space recommendations? Support local flavor. Support what's left of LaGrange's fast disappearing rural character. Please vote against the rezoning. Thank you.
Others? Sir?
John King, I live at 263 Diddley Road. I have a question, and then I could provide some background for you if you like. I'm perplexed at the difficulty that I'm having getting the town of LaGrange to honor the original site plan for the Tall Oaks subdivision. When I moved here in 1997, I met with the zoning administrator then, Yogi Ansorge, and we discussed the plans for the Tall Oaks subdivision, and it was always intended to be a 3-home subdivision, okay? What ended up happening was there was a house under construction. The gentleman that was building that house was living in a mobile home that was on a lot. Part of the agreement is that he owned both of those 2 lots on the subdivision. And part of the agreement is that when his house was completed, that the mobile home would be removed and that there would be a house built there, hence the 3-home subdivision, okay? Unfortunately, before the house actually had a certificate of occupancy, that gentleman moved out of the trailer, moved into the house, simultaneously moving another tenant into the trailer, preventing its removal. I came to the town, I discussed it, and I was told, well, now that there's someone living in the trailer, we can't evict them. I've been waiting over 20 years for this trailer to be empty, for the town to honor its site plan. Having this trailer there seriously affects my property value as well as the property value of the neighboring homes. The trailer is now, or the mobile home is now empty. And the current owner is looking to sell it as a permanent dwelling. Now, there's numerous problems with this property. First of all, the trailer was never intended to be a permanent item there. It was only to be used so long as that piece of property had an agricultural exemption because of the farm that it was located on. I have the expired permit and a letter from the town stating that so long as there was an agricultural exemption on the property, the trailer could stay. Now, the gentleman who lived there before had ostriches. So I guess he had some kind of exemption at that point. but there is no agricultural exemption on this property anymore, okay? So,
Yeah, you're past 3 minutes.
We have a 3-minute limited here.
oh, I was not,
I will,
I was not aware of
I
that.
am a little bit familiar with this, so I would like to pursue a couple of questions though.
Sure.
You said the current owner is trying to sell. Is the current owner the person who owns that house?
No.
No,
Or is it now owned by someone else?
that is owned by someone else.
And is it on the same parcel as that house you said he was gonna build?
No, it's
So
a,
it is now on its own.
I can
parcel.
show you if you like.
No, I think I'm actually, like I said, I'm familiar with it. Have you been involved in this at all or consulted?
I was called by the zoning administrator.
Yeah, my understanding is the zoning administrator has been looking into this and our attorney as well. I have no idea whether they have a final determination yet. I will say that there are a couple of things that have changed since the original agreement, which, to some degree, invalidate that agreement. The first is that when that was put in place, my understanding is the trailer, I think it was all one big parcel, actually.
18 acres, yes.
So now it's a trailer on its own parcel, and that's a fundamentally different situation than it was in, because there is something in the code that says you can't have two structures on the same property, two primary structures on the same property. But if it's on its own lot, then that's not true. The second thing is, you talked about a permit for the mobile home having expired. 30 years ago, the law said that you could get a permit for a mobile home for some period of time and then it would expire and you had to reapply. The federal government passed a law many years ago that made that sort of regulation illegal. It made it illegal to treat manufactured homes in any way different than stick-built or any other kind of home. And so there is no vehicle for requiring it to have a permit that's different than any other kind of home. There's no violation if it's the only structure on the property. And so, to the best of my knowledge, the town has no vehicle to remove it according to agreements from decades ago when, before the laws changed.
According to the Lagrange Town Code, a mobile home may only be operated in a mobile home park. And if you go down and you further read the town code, it says that this law supersedes all other laws, except if the law is to become more strict.
I think we gotta check into this a little more. I did, because I heard about it, I checked into it a little bit, and I asked the zoning administrator, and again, I don't know if there's been a final determination.
Well,
But, wait a minute, this went in front of the planning board, because it was subdivided.
Right.
And from what I understand, and I could be wrong, and I'll check and get back to you, it was made into 3 lots, I think.
Yeah.
And it's, the planning board approved as that 3rd lot, which is where the trailer is, cannot be built on until the trailer is removed.
No, the trailer
Meaning
was
the other way
supposed to be
around.
removed.
That was a deal, the first deal. And then they came to the planning board 10 years later, I don't know what it was.
Right.
And when they subdivided it, and that's when you should have been at that meeting probably opposing it. And the planning board, my understanding, and I'm gonna check and get back to you, okay? That they were allowed to subdivide, and the deal was, they said this lot cannot be built on until that trailer is removed. And I'm assuming you already had an old trailer, they probably figured its life expectancy, you would want a house on it over a trailer, but it has remained a trailer. I don't know if she's made a full determination, but I did ask her about this.
Well, I sent a letter to Sarah Davis, to which I did not receive the courtesy of a reply.
Well, she may not have made her final determination yet. She's part-time, so yeah, but I will check on it, because we should really know.
And my FOIL request has still not, there's still time left there to be completed, because I'm still.
But that's my understanding of what happened, but we'll get to the bottom and get back to
But
it.
unfortunately,
No, I get your concern.
unfortunately, Yogi is the only one that really knows what happened, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us. So
But there is paperwork for the planning
Susan
board.
would know too,
Susan was intimately involved in this whole.
I'll check further in it, because I did ask for whatever she determined, because it's really her call. She's gotta go through the paperwork, but this did go to the planning board after the original deal to get subdivided. So that's when the trailer was addressed again. My
The trailer,
understanding.
but the
It
trailer
was one
was,
piece.
I'm just gonna jump in and say also, she needs to finish her determination.
Right,
There's
let's-
a lot of
let's- but
talking
we'll
right
get
now
back
about
to you and-
information, we
Yeah.
don't have all the facts.
Right.
But also, when that determination is rendered, the appeal right goes to the zoning board of appeals, not this board.
Right, right.
So that
But he
would
has,
be
but he
the
has a right to know that
avenue
we're
if
following the
the
law. Right.
individual is displeased with that determination.
Okay, all right, but I'll see what we can find out and get back to you.
So you're awaiting a final determination in response to a form?
yes,
Okay.
yes, the FOIL request has not been completed, I'm waiting for
Okay.
a response.
We'll check on both of them.
A response, from zoning.
Okay.
Because I think that, at the very least, this needs to go in front of the zoning board again.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, we have all of these conflicting statements, agreements, and things from the past. We have town code that says you can't have a mobile home outside a mobile home park. It's killing our property values in our little area there. And now, basically what happened is 20 years ago, when this midnight switching of the houses was done, the moving out and the moving in, I came to the town and you told me there was nothing you could do until the trailer was actually empty.
Okay.
And now it's empty.
All right.
And now I'm looking for the
We'll find out
town
what
to
you
honor the original site plan agreements that were made and have a house, an actual house built on that lot as was intended.
All right. We will have the appropriate people look at all the documents and make an official determination and get back to you.
Thank you.
Others? Sir?
Just a question, not a comment. Dave Siegel, Clover Hill Drive. I'm just wondering what the procedure is if you are in a neighborhood and there is someone in that neighborhood who's not upkeeping their home, has animals that are not zoned for, a litany of other things, okay? And the neighbors in that neighborhood all are kind of banding together saying, we've got to do something about this because it's killing our property value. What is the procedure? What recourse do they have?
Well, you've touched on two separate things, and my suspicion is the answer to those two things are different answers, so I'll try to deal with both of them. If the person is violating town zoning code, the process is to lodge a formal complaint with the zoning department in writing, which they will investigate and take whatever appropriate action there is. You mentioned maintenance of the property, which is a different issue, depending on what you mean by the maintenance of the property. There are some things that our code requires people to do. There are many things that people feel is makes people's property unsightly that are not regulated. And so without knowing which ones you're talking about specifically, I wouldn't be able to address the answer to that might be the one I already gave you, which is file a complaint if it's regulated, or there's not much we can do if it's not regulated, depending on what the item is. For example, if they don't cut their grass, that is regulated, and we will send them a notice, and if they don't do it, we'll cut them for them and bill them for it. That's an example.
Okay.
If they put up, 32 pink flamingos in the front yard and you don't like the looks, there's probably not much that can be done.
Okay.
So it depends on the nature of what they're doing.
All right, so one example, and I'll stop. But lots of, let's call it wood chips, wood all over the place, creating harborage for lots of rodents and stuff, so it's affecting the people who live around there. Is that something that's regulated, or just you can't really do anything about that?
I'm going to stay in my comfort zone and tell you that I don't know every single aspect of what's regulated and not on properties. And it's just not something that I've had to personally be engaged in all that often, so I don't know the answer to that. But again, whatever the complaint is, if you lodge it with the zoning department, they'll determine whether it's something that's regulated or not. If it is, we'll take action from code enforcement, and if it's not, they'll tell you that.
Yeah, I would say that the code enforcement zoning, but CC the town board if you really think it's serious, so at least we're aware of it.
Yeah,
But it's really not us, but at least CC
And the
it.
people are pretty upset that I was talking to. It's not my neighborhood, okay? It's not my neighborhood.
But that's what you do if it's that bad, you know?
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Others? Sir?
My name is David Machia, Lagrange. I'm reading the minutes here because they weren't available to the public online. And there's a statement here, Mr. Ryan asked that a statement refuting claims that Mr. Rabaco made against him be included in the minutes. And what happened in that conversation was Mr. Rabaco said that the statement is available to be foiled. And that statement was made on February 7th, and Mr. Rabaco read it, and he handed it to the clerk, and he said, "I'd like that put on the record." The clerk said, "I will." That document became a public record. It's the interest of the public that that document be made available to the public. I foiled it, several other people have foiled it. You claim that it's foilable. The clerk claims that she does not have custody of this record. That is her job, to maintain records. The clerk claims that you took the document.
It's true.
Okay. So that means that you are tampering with public documents.
Listen, I
Public
said,
records.
listen, I had a cheat sheet. Well, I'll let you finish, then I'll respond. Go ahead, let you finish.
Go ahead.
This is not a question and answer. Finish
No,
your
go ahead and
statement.
finish your statement.
Okay? Yeah,
Then
finish
we'll
your statement,
respond.
And then I'll
That's
respond.
fine.
So this is a public record.
Yep.
That is supposed to be maintained by the clerk. You have intercepted that, you have taken it, and now you're tampering with it, and it's not available to the public. And that's a criminal matter. So you just admitted that you took this public document.
Are you
you're in
finished?
possession of it. Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, sit down and I'll respond. I made a public statement of what I felt and I had a cheat sheet. I used the cheat sheet, but I didn't say exactly what was on that cheat sheet. So when I gave it to the clerk, I decided, I said, let me fix it punctually. I did it that night. And I realized I didn't say exactly what was on the cheat sheet. So what I said is what should go on the record. And I told the clerk, use the tape. If somebody wants it, foil the tape. Because what was on that paper is not exactly what I said. So factually, the only thing is correct is the tape. And that's foilable.
You referenced a document that you read during
I
a public
referenced
meeting.
it, but it's not exactly what
That
I said.
document was read during a
It's not
public
a
meeting.
debate.
Excuse me, this
My-
is not
my
going
time's
to be
not
a
over.
debate.
It's not a debate.
It's not a debate.
What he said is factually accurate. You said that this was an official document, it was not.
He read from it
Excuse me.
in a public meeting.
Excuse me, you can continue to repeat the same thing you're saying, but it's factually incorrect. So
You're
it doesn't
incredible.
really matter.
You are non-credible.
Warning, one, I mean, I'm not gonna do this all night.
We've explained it to you. It is not a public record, therefore it's not being tampered, and it's not a criminal act. If you think it is, by all means, file a police report. We'll see how well that goes for you.
On top.
But it's not a criminal complaint. What he said is factually accurate. What he said didn't match the document.
Right.
So if we put it in the minutes would not accurately reflect what he said. And so he withdrew it and said, I changed my mind. I don't really want it in the minutes, which he has complete control
Well,
to do.
it said two different things.
It's not up to you to decide whether it goes in the minutes. It's up to the town clerk to decide what goes in the minutes. She has that authority, and she chose not to put it in because he requested not to put it in. It's as simple as that.
He requested to put it on the record.
And then changed his mind, and we're done with this.
Thank
Do
you.
that.
Yep, so, I don't believe there are any questions or comments, so I'll motion that we close the public comment period. All in favor? Aye. And I'll motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
The cap.
Aye, all opposed? Carried. Thanks.
Who made the motion? Did you make it?
For what?
Close the public hearing?
You need to adjourn.
That's so cool.
Can I give this to Mark?
I'm not very good. Doesn't work when you don't give it electronics. I'm not. I'm in trouble. You're in trouble for life. You don't even. I used to be really good with electronics. Most of that's
Freedom is
scary
scary.
out of date.
So is the truth.
My son is
I called you. How are you? Yeah, I called you. Bell requested
But yes, I enjoy dropping her.
This is
I will get back to, but this is what I think.
No, I saw you walk out.
Well, I went downstairs and asked her.
Like, sometimes I don't see you like, like, recognize them. No, it took me a minute to like, so, yes, that was me. It was a good show. Yeah.
In other words, it was one thing about it. Average market, that was the original. It was one lot.
Hey, have a good night, guys.
Same old shit.
Okay, so when you cut off the two,
I'm just gonna stop this recording.